Hi friends, I'm Natasha Koo from Intolign and welcome to chapter 2 of my career change and career journey so far. So if you did not watch part 1 of this two-part series, then go ahead and do that because I explained kind of the mission and purpose that I thought I had in life, and everything's about to change from here on. So just to brief you, if you have forgotten, I studied environment and business, and I spent several years just working for different organizations, governmental organizations, private sector, not-for-profit, foundations, just to find my place and to find that job. And I was really convinced that I want to save the world, but I was becoming more and more jaded, and I found it harder and harder to find the employer or the organization that both represented my values and that also just actually did good in the world, because everything was either to make a profit in this world, or they were doing environmental or social good, but then it was either too slow for me or the pay wasn't good enough, and I was always looking for more. So I didn't know what to do except to keep trying and to keep having different jobs until I find what I wanted. And I did, but not in the way that I expected, and probably not in the way that you expected. Time lapsed back to the time where I was in Switzerland, and I was still working and trying to find my way, trying to find my dream job, and I was working for a foundation. And to be honest, the foundation does great work, but culturally I did not fit, because even for the language, I couldn't speak German, and I feel really isolated on the job, and I didn't feel that I was really given full opportunity, responsibility. I wasn't used to my full potential, and I didn't feel that I was seen for my full capability. So it was really frustrating for me. And at the same time, this was the first 3 months of my life in Switzerland, and I was just trying to find my place in the world. So since I was doing this 3-month internship and I wasn't so happy on the job, what I did was to make up for it extra. Like in the evenings, I would go for hikes to meet new friends. I would do this one thing which would be the catalyst and which would kind of get the whole ball rolling for my career change. At the time, I had no idea that doing this and listening to this hunch would would change anything, but it did. So the first feeling is that, okay, I'm not very happy doing this internship. I want to do more. Well, I'm at work from 9 to 5, so I can only do that after work. And what I decided I wanted to do, which was kind of out of character, was to teach yoga at a public park after work. Now, I did not have a yoga instructor degree or diploma, and neither was I really good at it. I only took some yoga classes in university just for fitness, and that's it. But somehow I got this idea, so I did. So I started to post it online in any expat forums and communities I could find, and I just started to teach yoga. And first, the girlfriend of one of my colleagues came, and then some other people came, and then people came consistently. And I thought to myself, wow, I must not be that bad. And so I just kept going. I got low donations, and it felt great. Now, around this time, I went to Germany for an exchange semester just to learn German, because I knew that if I wanted an office job in the environmental space in Switzerland, I needed to learn German, period. I needed perfect German. So after graduating in Germany, doing that exchange semester, just to learn German, I came back. I was looking for work. I was trying to apply myself, and I found a startup, which I love startups, right? Because of the passion, the energy of the founders, the vision, and you know, just that drive. I love startups, but to cut this story really, really short, I worked for someone who did not have good intentions. He ended up paying nobody within the company. He lied a lot. He scammed a lot. He probably, it was money laundering also. In the end, he had to file for bankruptcy, and we, as employees individually, we all went to court to try to get our money back, and he just fled the country. So it was a really, really stressful month and a half or two working for such a person. It was also the work environment where like the boss was trying to like fuel everyone with like fear and manipulation and like applauding when someone stayed overtime and just trying to instill competition and just negative vibes all around. It was ego central. So after that experience, having to go to court, dealing with a narcissist so closely, being let down, being lied to, being manipulated, working in a high stress environment, I decided, okay, you know what? I need a break from job hunting. I'm just gonna take it easy for a little bit. I'm not ready to jump into another job straight away. Now, this extra time that I had just to calm down, relax, gather myself so I can search for another job again, that extra time seemed to just ignite all these ideas that I had in my head, business ideas, creative ideas. It just fueled all of them, and they just came into my awareness. And that was absolutely crazy because I didn't realize that I was an entrepreneur, that I had such visions and such ideas. I had no clue. I thought I was going to be an employee for the rest of my life because I saw at the environmental consulting firm how stressed out my boss was, and how, you know, if you are the founder or if you are an entrepreneur, work never really stops. You're always thinking about your business, and you can't just clock out when you want to. You know, it's yours. You're the one to fight the fire, put out the fires. So this was for the first really surprising thing that I realized about myself. And then it was then also because I had more and more ideas, so I came up with an idea for a community for people who are seeing therapists or coaches and who are, you know, in their individual journeys. They don't have a community, they go to see someone, they have that one-on-one session, they come back, and their immediate environment is the same. The job is the same, their spouse is the same, their friendship circles are the same. Like, no one is truly there to support them. So my first business idea was to, you know, create a supportive community with lots of events, with a network of coaches and practitioners who would help, you know, create this community together. That totally tanked because there's actually no such need for that. So it completely tanked, which was fine. But the important thing was that I was starting to notice all these ideas that were coming towards me. Now at the same time, Yachim was going real deep into his studies, into his just learning of hypnosis and practicing hypnotherapy. And he was on this complete worldwide binge and financial tanking of his savings in order to learn from the best in the world, right? And this one time he actually invited a lady from the UK who does energy stuff, and he heard great things about her, and he wanted to invite her over to teach us a few things about energy. And I was so skeptical. I was so absolutely skeptical. I didn't know what the heck he was doing. But since he was so convinced and he wanted to bring her over, I thought, okay, I'll just join a few classes because you're going to do it. And when she came, I was so shocked because she was teaching me stuff about chakras and energy and shielding and feeling, you know, positive, negative objects, healing yourself from your wound, and just things that I never ever heard about and I thought was complete bogus. until I did it myself. And I felt things I have never felt before, things I can't see with my own eyes, which I can only feel and sense. And it opened up my world because I was so extremely good at it. It felt so natural, like I was remembering something for the first time. And that was the moment where things started to change. I saw that, and before this I actually did a yoga teacher training because I realized, well, I was good at teaching it even without a teacher license, so why not? Let me give it a try. Let me learn this properly so I can teach safe lessons. So at this time I was just teaching yoga classes, on and off, substituting classes, teaching on my own too. But I was like, let me give this a try. Let me just try on my friends, see how far I can take this. I didn't think much of it. I just wanted to try because I learned these new skills. And then at the beginning, I was just following this lady's instructions, and it was just really, really simple instructions like, oh, feel there's energy here, balance it like this, and very technical stuff. But it was after I started to kind of do this energy work on my friends that I sensed that my hands actually wanted to go to places on their own. They wanted to feel certain things, and I began to feel the people deeply. I started to love and care for the clients in my room. It was no longer the 1, 2, 3 instructions that the lady taught us. It was something so much deeper. And I was just following these feelings. My head thought I was going crazy. I was feeling things that don't exist. I thought I didn't believe in it, even though I felt it and I was working with it. And my mind had such trouble accepting what was happening that it took multiple instances for me to wake up to the fact that I do have a gift, and that my mind may or may not be able to fully comprehend this, but it's happening and I'm helping people. And the one event that really shook me and which woke me up and said, you know what, it's happening, I better get on with the program, or just keep suffering this mental, inability to understand what's happening. And that event was when I was teaching a one-on-one yoga class, and this client always had this pain on her shoulder. And she said she was complaining about it again, and she was blaming it on CrossFit, but I just knew somewhere inside that it had nothing to do with CrossFit. So I just offered, hey, I learned this new technique, this energy stuff. Do you want me to take a look at it? Maybe it could help. And she's like, sure, why not? So then she lied down on the yoga mat. I never even touched her. I was just hovering my hand above her body, just feeling it. So of course I first go to the shoulder because that's where she says it hurts. And I feel it, but then I follow my hands because they kind of know where to go. So I just follow my hands, and they want to hover above her chest. So I'm above her heart, just feeling like, wonder what's going on. And suddenly, I swear, there's this sharp pain that goes from my left hand all the way up my arm. And I was like, ow! I actually said ow out loud. And I just looked at this student and I said, did something happen to you in your personal life? Because I felt the pain from her heart, and I wasn't even touching her. I just sensed it. And she just looked at me and was like, yeah, well, I just broke up with my boyfriend. And that's when I realized, okay, I sense people deeply and I feel things. And it's just something that my mind may never catch up to or fully comprehend or understand. I might not be able to logically just show you what is happening, but it is happening. And there was so much evidence that I was experiencing it, and there was no way other than just knowing, just feeling that I feel people really deeply, and that I have a gift. So from that moment on, I began to take this a lot more seriously. And that was also the event that changed my perspective on my career. I was so touched by this incident that I realized, okay, this gift, I have it. And maybe not everyone is born with it. But if I can feel people so deeply and I can do so much good one-on-one with people, then I have to. It's like my obligation to carry this out, to carry this healing, which comes so naturally to me, to the world. And so that was when I realized that also when it comes to, you know, environmental issues and social issues in the world and saving the environment, I can always donate, I can always volunteer my time. I do not have to dedicate my whole working life towards that goal. I can still work on it on a personal level, but it doesn't have to be my career, my work. So that was when I changed my career completely from environment and business to healing work, energy work, to coaching women, working with the feminine energy, working with women, to now coaching and forming Intolign with Yachim. So it happened in this accelerated way where my mind didn't know what was happening, and half the time I thought I was going bonkers, and half the time I thought I was further and further away from my meaning, my goal, you know. But by listening to myself, by trusting life, by accepting what is really happening, by accepting my own gift and letting that shape, you know, the decisions that I make, by, you know, trying the new energy techniques on my friends, testing this out on the yoga student, trusting this experience in itself, you know, creating an online business to coach women all over the world, trusting to create a new business with my husband and I. Every single risk and every single step that I took was towards my meaningful life, like my purpose here. And yes, it has shifted, and I still feel really deeply about the environment. But, you know, when you know that something is for you, it just feels so natural. And you just feel like this is what I want to do. And I believe that every single person has that something that you're just so good at. And that's the thing. Sometimes we're good at it without realizing it because it comes so naturally to us. And work can be something that you enjoy, that actually feels so easy to you. And so that's what I have found, and that's what I keep working towards. That doesn't mean that every single day on the job is, you know, all rainbows and butterflies. There's a lot of admin work, there's a lot of marketing work, there's a lot of systems creation. Like, there's a lot that goes on to creating your own job, your own business. But if it's backed up by your heart, your calling, something that comes naturally to you, something that you actually want to put into this world, then I'm all for it. And more than that, I'm willing to work the rest of my life for this. So that's what I want to share with you today. This is pretty much how my life, how my career completely transitioned into coaching, into something else. And sometimes it's hard to explain. It was just all intuitive, gut-driven, you know, little by little decisions and choices and risks that took me to this place. But I think that is what life is. So I hope that you enjoyed this two-part series of how I ended up in the work that I do today, forming Intolign and coaching people from all over the world. But we all start somewhere, and I definitely did not start where I am today. There was a really windy road, and I kept going forward. I didn't look back, and I kept trying to find myself. And eventually you find yourself and the career that you want. So I'll talk to you in another heartfelt conversation. Until then, take good care, and please share this video with any of your friends or family who might need this pick-me-up. And also don't forget to subscribe and get your notifications so you don't miss me again. Ciao!